If you're tired of setting goals that fade away or resolutions that never stick, then this message is for you. Because I was there too. Frustrated, inconsistent, always starting strong but falling short. Atomic Habits isn't just about forming routines. It's about reshaping identity, shifting systems, redefining what success looks like from the inside out. And when I applied what I learned, everything started to change. I began identifying as the kind of person who follows through. And little by little, I became that person. Until I discovered a system that completely transformed how I approach progress. You can have all the goals in the world, but without a system in place, you'll always fall back to your default behaviors. Habits, when designed intentionally, become the structure that supports the life you want. That changed everything for me. I stopped trying to be perfect. I focused on showing up, writing one paragraph, reading one page. But most of the time, we act based on what's around us. I looked at my environment and started making small changes. I deleted apps that distracted me. I placed a water bottle on my desk to remind me to hydrate. I laid out my workout clothes the night before. Starting small allowed me to stay consistent, and consistency breeds progress. Because when you shift your direction by just 1 degree over time, you end up in a completely different destination. Not a hack, not a shortcut, but a strategy built on small, consistent actions. And as my space changed, so did my behavior. I used a simple habit tracker to record days I followed through. No pressure, just awareness. And that awareness led to more action. Because when you track something, you respect it. It wasn't about discipline, it was about design. Atomic Habits teaches you to trust the process. To stop looking for immediate results. It's not sexy, it's not fast, but it works. The same way compound interest works in finance, habits work in life. The results, the kind of actions that compound over time and lead to massive change. That strategy came from one book, Atomic Habits. Now I know. It's easy to dismiss something that sounds so simple. Tiny changes, tiny habits. But that's the genius of it. If you want to lose weight, don't focus on the outcome. Focus on becoming the kind of person who doesn't miss workouts. If you want to write a book, become the kind of person who writes every day. It's not about the result, it's about the process. The person you are becoming through the process. Before I go any further, let me be clear. This is not about perfection. This is about direction. Linking a new habit to something I already do. Instead of relying on motivation, I relied on structure. I would do 10 push-ups right after brushing my teeth. I would journal right after pouring my morning coffee. These pairings made the new habits feel automatic. That was me. I didn't overhaul my life overnight, but I began to build momentum. I started making better choices almost without thinking. It started with understanding that habits are not goals, they are systems. And systems eat goals for breakfast. James Clear explains it well in Atomic Habits. He says true behavior change is identity change. The first principle that hit me hard was habit stacking. Then came the 2-minute rule. If a habit takes less than 2 minutes to start, it's more likely to happen. One of the most underrated ideas in Atomic Habits is the power of environment. We like to believe we act purely on willpower. My space began to reflect my goals. Another powerful shift was tracking, not in a rigid way, but in a mindful way. But perhaps the most profound lesson was patience. Are invisible at first. Then suddenly, they become undeniable. I remember going weeks without seeing much progress. Then months. Then out of nowhere, my energy shifted. It shows you how to get back on track without beating yourself up. It gives you a roadmap that works even when life gets messy. My mindset sharpened. My productivity improved. It felt like it happened overnight. But it didn't. To creativity, stopped waiting to feel inspired and started building systems that triggered action. I became less reactive and more intentional. And for the first time in a long time, I felt in control. It was the slow build of habits working in the background. What I love about Atomic Habits is how it respects the human experience. It doesn't shame failure. It explains it. Progress isn't always visible, but it's always happening when you stay consistent. And it's not just for productivity. I applied the principles to relationships, to health. So how can you use these habits starting today? Start small, start now, because tiny changes done consistently lead to massive results over time. First, clarify your identity. Who do you want to become? Not what do you want to achieve. You just need to show up for 2 minutes a day. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Use a notebook, a calendar, or an app. What matters is consistency, not streaks, not perfection. Just showing up. Who do you want to be known as? Let that identity guide your actions. If it takes more than 2 minutes, scale it down. Don't aim to run 5 miles. Aim to put on your shoes. Once you start, momentum takes over. A better relationship with effort. A more honest view of progress. Second, shrink the habit. Make it ridiculously easy to start. Set yourself up for success. Make the good habits obvious. Make the bad habits invisible. You are not weak. You are human, designed for that reality. It's becoming the kind of person who doesn't quit, who keeps showing up, who trusts the system. Third, design your environment. Fourth, track your progress. Fifth, be patient. Let go of timelines. Fall in love with the process. The real win isn't achieving your goal. Atomic Habits didn't just give me better habits, it gave me a better sense of self. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're tired of the all-or-nothing mindset, if you're done waiting for the perfect time, then this is your moment. You don't need to change your life overnight. Your habits are the foundation of your future, and every habit you build is a vote for the person you want to become. That's the power of Atomic Habits. That's how it changed my life, and that's how it can change yours too.